Okay, so let me know if you've ever come across this problem. You're building an entertainment system or center, you get the TV, and you start plugging stuff in, and sometimes all you got is 3 HDMI cords. But you got a soundbar, you got a Blu-ray player, a 4K player, a cable box, a game system, multiple game systems, your Aunt Betty. I mean, everything requires HDMI cord, and yet your TV only has 3. Now, some TVs, when you start doling out a lot of cash, have 4 HDMI ports. But, that's the most I've ever seen on them. And I've seen a lot of TVs, they only have 2 HDMI ports, and a lot even only have 1. And so, let's say you're in my situation. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different consoles, but you only got 3 HDMI ports. So, what do? Well, you start looking into an HDMI splitter. But if you're like me and you're not 100% tech savvy, you just have an inkling of what to do, you'll probably be thinking well, shit, what do I do? So, today I'm going to tell you about the SGEYR 2.0 HDMI switcher and how this thing is pretty awesome. Let's get into it. Okay, so I basically had 3 HDMI ports on this TV, and I was constantly switching out the third port with a lot of my older systems, like my 360 and my PS3 and my original Xbox here. And anyone who knows anything knows that just constantly plugging in and out HDMI cords, not only are you going to wear the cord out, but you're also going to wear out the little HDMI socket in the device. The Xbox Series X is notorious for having a very weak HDMI socket that can get damaged very easy, and it's not that old of a system. That's a common issue I've been hearing with Series X's and Series S's. So, what do? Well, you get a splitter. But the problem is, there's so many splitters on just Amazon alone, it's kind of hard to know what to get, because some splitters, they are dirt cheap. They're like $7. And when you're looking at the description, you're just kind of feeling yeah, I'm going to lose more money getting this than if I was to get it. And then you have the insanely expensive ones. I've seen splitters get up there for $900. I've seen a few over $1,000. And these things can take you to the moon, apparently, because they have all these different little features. I was not interested in spending that kind of cash. I was more interested in the $7 one, and I was looking, and I found this one. The SGEYR, it's SGEYR. If you can pronounce that, kudos to you. I have trouble pronouncing it, but it's on Amazon. I will leave the link down in the description below. And allegedly, this thing can do 2.0 4K Ultra HD in any one of its ports. So if you're doing 120 frames per second, this thing apparently can handle it. If you're doing Ultra HD 4K, this thing apparently can handle it. So I got this, and I was a little bit dubious about this. I was thinking I was going to send it back because, even though it does provide the service, I was thinking, okay, great, another thing I have to plug in the wall, I need to have an outlet for it and whatnot. But to my surprise, this little doohickey does exactly what I needed to do. Now, is this amazing with 4K signals? I'm not sure. Is this amazing with stuff running at 120 frames per second? I don't know, because one, I am not capable of running stuff at 120 frames per second, and two, my two 4K devices I have natively on their own socket on the TV. I basically regulated my older 1080p consoles to this device. And for the $15 that I got for, I think the price fluctuates depending on the sale, so it might be a little bit more expensive when you look at it. It might be a little less. It just kind of depends. But by the price, the $15 price I paid for this little box, this thing does everything I need it to do. There's a button on the top that allows you to switch from input 1, 2, and 3, and honestly, it's a useless button. Because what this does is, I have the 3 consoles hooked up to this little box, and whenever I switch to that input, if I turn on my 360, this little box just automatically switches it to that input signal, so I don't have to worry about switching anything on here. I just have to switch to the cord that is hooked from this to the TV, and I'm solid. I'm golden, I'm aces. And then what's even amazing is I could turn off the 360, and then I could turn on the original Xbox, and this little box will just automatically switch it to whatever it's receiving a signal for. Now, I haven't played around with turning on 2 things at the same time, but at the same time, why would I? I mean, like, sure, there might be some people out there that like to have 3 things running at once, and they need to switch between the 2. And so for people like that, the select button might work on the top, or this remote that comes with this box might work. But the thing is, I've yet to put batteries in this remote because I don't need it. All I needed was a couple more ports for one of the 3 HDMI ports on the back, and this thing pulls its weight. It does its job. Now, I have not tried 4K on this. It says it can do 4K, I'm not sure. But if you're in my situation where you just need a couple extra HDMI ports that aren't going to give you any hassle, and you're more inclined to putting some of your older HDMI stuff on this little box, then I would absolutely 100% recommend this device. This is a neat little nifty device. It does everything I need it to. And honestly, for that, I would highly recommend this. Now, I have not tested this on 4K. I have not tested this on 120 frames. But, I mean, it has in full 4K at 60 Hertz. So, if you're not doing 120 frames as well, then this supposedly can do 4K at 60 Hertz if you needed to. Comment down below if you desperately want me to test it out first. But honestly, I would personally just relegate the 4K thing to its own dedicated HDMI port, because sometimes TVs have like special enhancement features that are only exclusive to like HDMI 1 or 2, and putting that cord through a switcher would negate that enhancement. So, like, just in general, I would kind of save the higher end 4K devices for its own dedicated port if it was possible, and I would save like the DVD player, the old classic game system, the old stuff to a device like this. But yeah, honestly, I can't say enough good things about it. It does everything I need it to. It does its job better than I thought it would, and I have to do nothing with this. I just have to switch to the input, and this little sucker does all the work for me. And so, yeah, that's about it for my review of the SGEYR, I don't know how to pronounce that, and they did not pay me for this ad. I bought this with my own money, but no, this is a fantastic product, and I would recommend getting this for multiple devices if you have more devices than you do HDMI ports. So, until next time, my name's Chris O'Connell with 11 Hour Reviews, and that will be all for today.